world's largest spirits maker, Diageo, reporting higher annual profit this morning, helped by growth in the global market. Operating profits rising almost 10%, and the company returning more cash to shareholders in terms of buybacks. I spoke this morning with the CEO, Ivan Menezes, about the company's strong earnings report. Here's what he said.
The results were excellent. We grew sales 6.1%, profits 9%, EPS over 10%. And within that, we increased our investment in marketing ahead of sales. We delivered strong cash flow. And to me, the most exciting thing is the quality of the results. We had growth broad-based around the world, every region in growth. North America growing 5%, Europe 4%, Latin America and Asia 9%, Africa 7%. Our categories are doing really well.
How about that gin number? 22% increase in sales for gin. What's driving the appetite for this?
You know, this trend started in Spain about 8 years ago. The trend came to the UK, it spread across Europe. And now we're seeing brands like Tanqueray in Brazil, in Mexico, in South Africa, in Australia. The top end of gin is growing really fast. Hasn't quite happened in America yet, but we're working on it. And I do think it will develop in the US as well.
We're tracking the tensions between the US and China on trade. What are you actually seeing from consumers?
Actually, our business in China, mainland China, continues to be very strong. We have two broad businesses there, a Baijiu business called Shuijing Fang, which is growing north of 20%, and a Scotch whisky business with the high end of Scotch also growing double digits. So we see the momentum continuing as China pivots to a consumption-led economy.
American whiskey has been the target of retaliatory tariffs from everyone, from China, EU, Canada, Mexico. At this point, how disruptive are the tariffs to your industry?
We obviously don't like tariffs. Ours is an industry that's truly global in terms of our products moving around the world. And to operate on a free and predictable and fair trading system is hugely important to the spirits industry.
Brexit. I know that we've talked about it before, and you're relatively insulated. You benefit from the weaker currency. The supply chains, I think, are relatively local in Scotland and other places like that. How has the calculus changed, do you think, now that you have a Brexiteer as the British Prime Minister?
Well, it's day one for the new Prime Minister here. And what I would say from a Diageo standpoint is we are prepared for all the scenarios that might emerge. We clearly want a deal, and a deal to be a sensible deal to get struck quickly. However, our business is more resilient in this scenario. Whatever happens in the world, we will be making Scotch whisky in Scotland. We're not as impacted as some other sectors, so we can take Brexit in our stride.
They're actually one of the few beneficiaries, guys, of Brexit. They benefit from the weaker currency, and you get the tariff-free trading. Just other little tidbits out of this report. Always interesting to follow the trends in the alcohol business. Whiskey did really well, growing 6%, and they had this amazing release of the Game of Thrones inspired sort of campaign. They did the White Walker, Johnny Walker. My personal favorite was the Lannister Lagavulin, but he said that was a big contributor of growth. Clearly, that can't continue now that the show is over. But between that, the 22% gin growth happening outside the U.S.
Yeah, that was interesting. Started in Spain 8 years ago? Huh?
Who knew? He said he expects it to come to North America. It's the only place that really hasn't gotten it.
I don't know what that means, it to come here. What is that even?
The craze, gin drinking at night.
Isn't that when people mostly drink gin? It's not like it's new.
No, but it's not popular here like it is there. And another interesting sort of North America versus the world trend, beer consumption is actually growing again around the world. We saw that in the AB InBev results.
Yes,
we talked about it in Guinness. North America, not so much. We're still kind of in the spirits